almost there, I promise you. We're almost there. I think it's time. I think it's time. I mean, good grief! What was
If
that?
we could have just had 7 more of those countdowns, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, Bliss and Mike. Oh, I'm on so many shows anymore, I forget who I'm with. I'm sorry.
Right.
I look for both.
You notice Mike's not with us tonight, and I'm telling you, it's. Did you hear what happened? He was getting dressed and he put his belt on too tight, and it caused lack of blood flow to his butt, and it gave him some brain damage. So
I think he was ashamed of cheating in the challenge this week, so he just didn't come on.
when I saw that score, I said, "Yeah, sure, right."
Yeah, that was pretty crazy that score Mike threw up.
Well, it was, and Mike's I do a chat, but Mike's a gamer, man. He knows the games. He's patient. He's good. Only thing I was tickled to death about, of course, I guess since we're talking about it, I'll say at the last minute last night, I did not hold that score. I've thought about doing that before, but last night I said, I'm going to play this thing one more time. I said, I cannot leave it at under 10,000 points. I got at least to get up there next to Bart or ahead of him. And I hit that 13,000, and I about threw the game across the controller across the room. I thought, I'm never playing this game again. I just
The games I pick have that effect on people. I don't think I'm allowed to pick a game ever again. So
never.
Yeah, that was boy. I struggled with that game. I ended up at the bottom, so that's good. I'm right there, right above the people that didn't play. But I never did get past that fucking robot that can't go downstairs. I back up against that wall. I try to time my jumps, and he just kills me every time. But
the only thing that got me through that was, first of all, when he died, I didn't even know that he died. I mean, I was so intense on just keeping myself from getting hit that all of a sudden I said, what happened? Why are we moving? And I realized I'd done it, but I found the only thing he had to do is, Mike said to stay in that left corner, but sometimes when he'd retreat, you had to chase after him or your shots weren't taking any of his energy away. So I figured that out, and it was purely luck. And I knew once I beat him, my score just started going up on the next level. And when I saw it hit 11,000, I thought, I don't care anymore.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that you had posted that score until I got up this morning because we go to bed early on Saturday nights. And so I didn't know. So I wouldn't have I was going to let you have it. I'd had all I could take of that just getting killed at the same spot. I'm going to go ahead and let me pull up the spreadsheet since we're spending this much time talking about it. Sure. And Bliss said in here, and hello, everybody. I tried to put everybody on the chat up at one point or another. But Bliss said something about letting Poe win, but Mike didn't get the memo about letting Poe win this week because Mike decided, you know what? I'm just going to take everybody's score, add them together, and double it.
I did watch you play that day. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Bliss was the only reason why I played again because he made fun of me. Like, I beat Poe. That's it. That's all I can stand. I can stand no more.
Yeah, it's Mike killed everybody. Mike destroyed. So yeah, I'll read through it. If anyone's watching on a phone or something and it's too small, they can't see it. Mike ended up with 210,600. Poe was looking great right up until Mike.
I got sniped.
52,100 for Poe, which was dominant win first place for a long time. Decom 52 was at 31.2. Livewire 30,300. Retro Bliss Gaming had 29.3. Derek Pixeltorium 26.9. Greg sniped me at the end there, got 13.8, and at least I got into the 10,000 range, 10,100 for me. I only beat the people that didn't play, but that's okay. I had fun the first 3 times I played it, and frustrated the rest of the times.
It is a fun game. If you could, if it wasn't for the challenge and you just wanted to play through, just hitting the credit thing, I think you would have more fun for sure.
Yeah. It is tough when you have to quit when you die right away and then start all the way at the beginning. It gets frustrating, especially when you, like me, I died every time, same spot, trying to kill that one thing.
But the one thing about it is restarting is I noticed that I could get through. By the time the 27th time that I got killed with a boss or whatever, the robot, by the time I got doing it that many times, I could get to that part real quick without losing any energy because you just knew, like when the motorcycle come at you just knew duck, turn around the other way, jump, and kick. You scored those points.
Yeah, starting to wonder Mike might be a cybernetic.
No, you guys don't know is Mike is only 18 years old, so he's got young eyes and fast reflexes.
Yeah. Right.
He joined the Navy when he was 13, so.
Right. Now, Derek's been saying all week that Poe's wife was the one that played and posted that 52,000
Well,
score,
it's true because I was out on a date with Derek's mom, so my wife played for me.
Oh,
happy Mother's Day, Derek.
Nice. Dead or alive, you're coming with
It is
me.
Mother's Day. And again, I'm not going to be here late tonight because I promised the wife that we would watch a movie or something. I'm hoping that we do the or something, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, here it is, Mother's Day, and I'm spending the evening with you two mothers. Mother somethings. I don't know. But, Bliss has some riverfront property in Arizona to sell. I'm guessing that's his follow-up to that he could have beat Mike easily. Yeah, so it was rough. But it was fun. I don't know. I'm sure I played that one time in the past, but I don't remember playing it. So it wasn't something I played often if I had played it. So, and I threw it on the Pi. I didn't put it on my iArcade. So I was playing on an Xbox controller, not standing at the arcade, but
that was a weird one because I tried to put that on my iArcade back in the fall a couple times and it just wouldn't go. And then eventually, like a couple months ago, I downloaded it again and put it on. All of a sudden, it was there. That iArcade sometimes can be a little tricky with that stuff.
Yeah,
I know Kelly's got to be referring to. I told you last week I was being neurotic because Travis come over and helped me do some straightening, but we weren't done, and this room was a mess. Well, I've spent all week, a little bit at a time, and I feel so glad. But I did decide to set my little buddy back there. I took my sign down with my G. Parker's banner on it, and my little buddy's sitting back there behind me. So, yeah,
couldn't even see what he got back there.
That's Jerry Mahoney.
Oh, okay. I had Danny O'Day.
Danny O'Day. And have you looked at? It's a shame. There used to be a place in town. My last name's Vincent. It was weird. It was a place called Vincent's Doll Hospital. It's gone away. But I wish I'd have taken that to them before they left and had him restored because I've had that since I was about 5 or 6. Got it for Christmas one year. You wouldn't believe what those things are going for. The original ones. My God, they're just.
a lot
Danny
of toys
O'Day from either. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say a lot of toys from the 1800s are worth a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Carved out of real morning wood. That dummy road. I had Danny O'Day, and I remember I was about that age too. They would have it in the Sears Wish book or the Penny's Christmas book, and I remember asking for that. Now the only thing was, it wasn't like a deluxe model, so you couldn't move the eyes and stuff like that.
This one had the eyes, the mouth. It was cool.
Yeah, I could just control the mouth with the string. It didn't even have where you put your hand inside like the deluxe ones do.
See,
I always wanted the one where the eyes made.
I put this one down here because we did keep him upstairs. And one night I woke up and I could have swore he was standing over me looking at me. So I brought his little butt down here and put him down here. I mean, can you imagine waking up and seeing that guy looking at you in the middle of the night?
And my neighbor had one. She had Charlie. No, not Charlie. Yeah, who did she have? I can't remember which one she had.
Yeah, Danny O'Day, Jay Mahoney. God, who wasn't there a professor? One that looked like a guy with a monocle?
Yes.
Looked like the Monopoly guy.
Charlie McCarthy. Is that it?
Charlie McCarthy.
Charlie McCarthy. And my friends up the road, they had Laurel and Hardy. That was pretty neat. But mine always creeped everybody out. Somebody at some point punched his jaw right out of his face. Probably scared him in the middle of the night.
This one's jaw's broken, and he's sitting there with that just balanced. If I pick him up, his lower mouth falls out. Go figure.
Nice.
But things from yesterday, man. Reminiscing about that old stuff like that. That's kind of cool.
Oh, I missed it. I missed a chat.
Oh, and they had Lester too. Remember, they had Lester. Yeah, he was another one.
I bet you really liked Danny O'Day sitting on your lap, didn't you?
Like that mouth action. How do you think the jaw broke? Good night, everybody.
Did you talk like this and say, "Hello, Mr. Hostel, how you doing today?" Yeah, I'm not.
And we had an old record. A lot of times we would get hand-me-down like records and stuff from our cousins, and they gave us one on how to be a ventriloquist and how to try to do that. You know, you listen to the LP and you practice along and stuff.
That's right, Mr. Hostel. You're exactly right.
Polo says, you guys like Laurel and Hardy on the Scooby-Doo cartoon?
Yes. Love Laurel and Hardy.
I liked everybody that special guest starred on the Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Yeah, and the only one you can't get, I bought that in a set years back. Scooby-Doo Goes to the Movies or whatever it was called with all the guests. I think the only one you can't get is where they met the Addams Family because of licensing issues or something. I always liked that episode. You know.
Oh, yeah. Cannabis Kid's here.
Hey, Cannabis.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, we got a lot of people. Chaos, Cannabis Kid, Hollywood Polo, Kelly Huff.
Yeah.
And
Bad Boys Gaming and Nonsense.
Virtual Bliss. Yeah.
Salty.
Bliss. So, yeah. Of course, Derek's here.
And Derek.
Let me see who else I might have missed up here. I think you named off about everybody that's been here so far.
I gotta see something. Real quick. How did Derek do? Oh, Derek was just one above me. He wasn't so good. That's okay. God, how much more would I have had to got?
Yeah,
he doubled me.
About doubled you. Almost tripled my score, but that didn't take much.
Can you ban him from the chat?
Yeah. I think he banned Poe the other day from the Discord.
Oh, he does it all the time. Mute me. Muting me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I just saw Derek's part of it because I had you blocked for months now on Discord also. Because, I mean, it's pretty bad. I try. I can't watch our own replays because you're on it. Uh-oh. Am I back?
So let me ask you. Yeah, you're good. So that was the arcade challenge last week. So this week is a console challenge.
And I think you had one, didn't you? Last time, whenever Mike was going to pick one, you had one of mine in case you didn't have one. So I was hoping that you had one in mind this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I thought mine was well, I know the name of it, and it's fortunate because my memory's been bad lately. But it was Streets of Rage. But isn't that an arcade? Or is that a console?
The Genesis. You can play it on Genesis.
That's what it is, yeah. Well, the one I wanted to play was Streets of Rage. That's it just came to me. Because I found it on my, where did I find it at? I think it was on my, is that playable on the Switch?
It's probably on the Switch online. Yeah, I don't. mess a whole lot with the Genesis games on there because I have an EverDrive with like all the Genesis games on it. So
I hate to say that without looking, but I do. Yes, it was Streets of Rage on Genesis. So, I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. That's just the one I was going to throw out there. If you think that stinks, one thing I really like to research, and I think I did on that game is, and just constructive criticism here, Poe. No, get your nose out of joint. But that son of a gun was hard to get the score on until I finally figured out you just let it go until it gets through, and then it'll show you your score. But I was panicking when I got that 10,000. I thought, oh man, I got a great score. Whoa, where'd it go? How do I capture that? Well, luckily I'd recorded it, and I just went and captured the still at the end, and then finally Mike told me how to do it. But I think Streets of Rage is the one that I think you can get at the end. So,
yeah, I don't care either way. Doesn't matter to me because I don't have anything lined up because I assumed Mike was going to pick one tonight till we found out that he wasn't going to be able to be here. So, but is that? What do you think, Poe?
yeah, that's a good one. Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage on the Genesis.
mm-hmm.
And it may or may not be available if you have it on the Switch. But so find it on an emulator, play it however you can. But we're looking for the Genesis version. And I don't know if that one of these does it have continues and stuff. But we'd have to say again, don't do any continues if it allows that. And
I think it does, and I think we should just say that from now on that's a standard policy.
Yeah,
if it has continues. And it's just obvious. We're playing for fun. It's right. You don't get anything if you're in first place, and it does no good to cheat. And just nothing that can improve your score. When you're done and it says game over, capture the score. I'm going to go get my Switch real quick and just take a look at it because it's on in the other room. I'll bring it back in here and we'll look and see if it is on there.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 12.
12.
1, 2, or 3. I'm assuming he wants part 1.
Yeah,
or you accidentally hit the wrong button all the time and it calls in the squad car.
Right.
Blows up everything on the screen.
Derek says, and anyway, if you continue, it starts your score at 0 anyway. Or so, yeah, because we know, Derek, you've been trying. Well, the problem with that, even though, as Mike pointed out last week, I think, even if it starts your score at 0, you're at a higher level potentially. Yep. When you start, you're getting more points.
More points for you,
yep. Chaos is saying Streets of Rage 2 is on the Switch.
That's probably the one Greg was messing with, though. If that's the one that's on there, that's probably what he was playing around with. This was a few weeks ago. He brought up that idea, but he didn't know Mike already had a game picked when we played Special K type.
Right. No continues up to 99 lives. I don't guess you need to continue if you have 99 lives. Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 are on the Genesis Classic.
Oh, no, I'm sure he's meaning on the online service. Hey, he fell asleep. Where's his music?
No, I'm just checking out that my controller. What's wrong with my controller? Yeah, there you go.
Hand it down the park.
Please connect the controller. Now, how in the world?
You know what's funny? I can't hear the music. When I click play, I can't hear that one. I can hear the ukulele, but I can't hear the daydreaming one, which I think is fitting when it looks like he falls asleep. Let's see. Chaos says one of the more mid-range to beat him up. Did like he fell asleep. Just dust off the cartridges.
Oh, that's right. Old school.
says controller not connecting. What the hell?
Are you trying to use that steering wheel in front of you? That might be the problem.
No. Connecting using USB charging cable. What? Why is it not letting me find my Joy-Cons? That's just dumb.
Cannabis Kid said his favorite Streets of Rage 2 ROM hack is the one with the Ninja Turtles instead of the regular characters.
Nice.
Okay, is the controller paired? Well, I don't know how you could not have.
Oh, darn it.
Oh,
It says attached to the console. This is really aggravating. Okay.
oh,
Oh,
funny
finally.
stuff.
It finally found it. Isn't that amazing? There's a lot of dead air time. You guys, I know you were upset because I left you for a minute alone with.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're still on the Mother's Day episode or if we're on a whole different week. We've been waiting so long.
Okay. I heard you guys.
Episode 56. But
I heard you guys.
Finally gets a Switch started.
I heard you guys talking about Streets of Rage Genesis. It looks like Streets of Rage 2 is the one that's on the Genesis. So, I mean, it's on the Switch. So, if you want to go with Streets of Rage, that way people have another opportunity if they have the online Nintendo thing. So,
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. I don't think I've played any of them, so I'll be equally bad. So,
well, we'll just do Streets of Rage 2.
okay, Streets of Rage 2. You hear it here first. Streets of Rage 2. You can play it on Switch if you have it on that. It's on the online thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, if not, if you got ROMs, if you got an actual Sega, that's awesome. Play it there. Post your scores in the arcade, the console challenge channel, not the arcade challenge, so we can get that spreadsheet going.
Yeah, and stay on topic, or you'll be muted like Poe.
Right.
I didn't even do anything the last time. Oh, no, wait, I did. I made fun of there.
Well, I'm going to see if I got the ROM for that one, too. But, yeah, I don't know. I find these challenges to be fun. They're just a lot of fun. Oh, and I was going to get with them about this next week. You know, there's new pinball things coming out. I didn't set up a pinball challenge this week because I thought I'd get with Bart. We haven't talked ahead of time, but I was going to say if Bart wants to set one up on one, I'll set one up on the other, and we'll play Switch or Steam and, you know, the other formats. We'll set up 2 tournaments so everybody can run. We'll keep track of the scores and blend them together.
Yeah.
We'll pick one of the new games for next week.
Yeah. It sounds good. Yeah, because there's like 5 tables coming out for Pinball FX on Thursday. There's, of course, the big Universal Television pack with Knight Rider, Xena, and Battlestar Galactica. And it's the newer Battlestar Galactica series. It's not the old one with Lauren Green and Faceman from the A-Team. Yeah. But
Wrong show.
Twiggy's on Buck Rogers.
Rogers. Buck Naked.
So it's that new one, and then they have that other one that's based on a video game that I can never remember the name of the video game. It's just a single release that's coming out that same day, and they're doing the re-release of that World Cup soccer something or another.
Oh, yes.
It was a Pinball FX2 table. It'll be free on all platforms now. They did announce it will be free on the Switch and Epic games also. For a whole month, it's free on the computer, but on the consoles, it's only free for the first week. But once you get it, you keep it for forever. It's not like you get it for that week and then you lose it. You keep it forever. So I'll be logging on to the computer and the Switch, and I would expect anyone that has multiple platforms install it on them all while it's free.
All right.
But it looks like a pretty cool game, and Pacific Rim. That's right, it's Pacific Rim. Is that a video
That was
game series? A movie?
I was a porno.
Oh, okay. Pacific Rim job. Bliss says if we could do Steam, you could play with Xbox. Yeah, if one of us, Greg and I, want to do one on Steam or Epic, and one on the Switch. The one that's on the Switch will be for Switch people only, and then we'll blend the scores in our Discord. But whichever one we do on the PC, every console, everybody will be able to join that one except for the Switch. So if
you're on Epic, you can see the Steam people, and if you're on Steam, you can see the Epic, right?
Right. I think everybody can see the computer, including each other.
Yeah.
And Xbox and PlayStation. And no one can see the Switch. So we'll do one on the Switch also, and then we'll just manually blend it.
Okay.
I don't know if I can see Xbox people from my PS5 or if they can see me. But you can see us.
Right. The host will be able to see everybody's score, and everybody will be able to join in. But yeah, if Poe plays on his PlayStation, and Bliss, if you play on your Xbox, you might not see each other's score on the leaderboard. So probably what we'll do is, once or twice during the week, might just post screenshots of the current scoreboard on the two, so people can just see where everyone's sitting. Or I'll do it like I've been doing and update I usually try to update the spreadsheet at least once a day. So that's kind of how that's going to go. But I don't know if we want to put it up to a vote on which table we're going to do first. I was thinking one of the universal tables first. It would be the logical choice. But I don't know. I always name off Knight Rider first because that's of those three shows, that's my favorite. But who knows? It might be the worst table. We won't know until we start playing them.
If we put it to a vote and we want to announce it now, I would say that Knight Rider would be my choice as well.
Yeah, mine too. Definitely Chaos's, right, Chaos? Right.
All right, so we got 3 votes for Knight Rider, and the chat votes just don't count at this point because we all were unanimous. So it'll be Knight Rider, but we're going to start it on Sunday though, right, Greg? We're not going to start it.
Yeah.
We won't start it on Thursday. That's the release day, so everybody will have plenty of time to practice up, play a few games between Thursday and Sunday, because Sunday evening we will start the tournaments and we will announce the codes to join the tournaments on Sunday night. So that's how that'll work. Yeah, Polo said Knight Rider also. Canvas Kid says, let me get in on that. Polo says, only I see all. That's a stretch, but yeah. Take that, Nintendo, says Derek. Yeah, I still, I don't want to get off on a rant, but I think it's stupid that they don't let the Switch. But the physics are different. From what I've heard from people that play on Xbox and PlayStation or Xbox and Steam, they said they feel different anyway. And it's like, and I think there's a difference when I play. I think there's a difference. I feel like there's a difference when I'm playing my Switch on the TV, so it's in landscape mode because the TV is that way. And then I have that controller holder thing where I can tip my Switch sideways and I'm playing in vertical mode. It feels different to me just doing that.
Yeah.
That and the fact that I'm not good enough that it matters.
I think that's the other thing that gets me about it. It's gaming. It's fun. It's challenging. Who gives a rat's ass? People will tell me there's a delay in the flipper lag or something. I mean, if they can see that millisecond lag, I mean, I don't know. I kind of get used.
Yeah, they'll say something like, "Oh yeah, there's a 7 millisecond lag on the flipper." It's like I have more than probably a 20 millisecond lag versus what I could do when I was 20. So by the time I see it and push the button, I don't know how many milliseconds have gone down. And Greg, you know as well as anybody, because you own physical tables. You go to places and you play physical tables. You can get on a Medieval Madness table, the real physical table, drive across town to another place and play on that Medieval Madness, and they're going to feel a little different. Some of the bumpers are not as strong. The flippers might be a little weak because the solenoids are wore out. And it's like there's differences, and I don't know why people get all bent out of shape over someone beat them in a digital pinball thing. Well, it's because you were playing on the Switch. It's like, no, because they beat you. Move on. Yeah. Guess what? Next week, no one's going to remember that you won or lost. It's fun. So we will just do it ourselves, and we will blend them together, and we'll have a good time. It's just for fun. But, yeah.
But you'll have to watch the show. You'll have to watch the show next Sunday night. You want to get a jump on playing, because we're going to announce who's got we have to know the number to find the thing and the password and all that gobbledygook.
Yeah. Mine is going to be FUPOE. I think that's.
I don't know how to remember that. That's rough. Let me write it down.
But I was going to do FU Greg, but I can't spell that. That's too many letters for me. But,
I thought it was Craig.
Craig. Yeah. But I did want to say Thursday is also a big day for the American Truck Stim.
Yes.
They are finally releasing Nebraska. And I don't know if you'll be able to make deliveries to the penal system, but you're looking for that. But Nebraska comes out the same day as all the Zen pinball tables come out. So I'll be having a busy time with new tables, and somewhere in between there, from what I understand, Greg, I don't know if you've seen anything on that, but they're supposed to have that big 1.5 update for American Truck Simulator. And from what I understand, some of the stuff on the Nebraska requires the 1.5. So they're saying sometime between now and Thursday, 1.5 is going to have to officially come out because you need it for Nebraska. Could be the same day, could be a couple days before. But
well, I got all excited the other night because I saw that it came up for Discord that somebody had a video out, and that was like Thursday night or Friday, and I'm like, oh, Off Grid's going to be playing pinball live, and then I just saw it was a G. Parker video, so I closed it up.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been able to do my Thursday night pinball thing. It's just working on the house, trying to get this stuff done, and then by the time I'll look at the clock, and we're just sitting down to eat, and it's 6:30, and I'm like, whoops, missed another one. But hopefully the house gets done this week, and then I'll be back to doing stuff. See, Kelly was all right. She says that's a great video Greg put out.
Yeah, that one that he put out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To current before Thursday. Yeah.
I've been having so much fun playing with just a variety of different things, and that I go back to that ROG Ally handheld device, which I just love it and hate it, and I know I've said it each week. I learn something new and I forget something new, or it does something else weird on me, and I just can't. It's so finicky with stuff, but yet it's so much fun to play. But I'll tell you, you can play it as you can a Switch hooked up to a dock and hooked up to your TV. But when you start using the Xbox controller, which it's supposed to, if you're using especially the Xbox service, which it came with for 3 months free, it seems like the minute you throw that Xbox controller on there, everything goes chaotic on you. And it's probably just me, but I think my recommendation on the ROG Ally is if you're got computer savvy and can figure things out, it's okay. But if you are going to hand this to a 12-year-old, well, I don't know. I take that back. Maybe a 12-year-old could figure it out better than me. But I know that you got to have a little bit of technical expertise to get this thing to work, because it's just not user friendly just right out of the box.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
compared to the Switch, which is basically plug and play and go. It's so simple. But I've been having fun doing that, and I've been having fun. Actually, they gave me that Xbox Game Pass for 3 months. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of digging that. They've got the cloud gaming you can play, and they've got the games you can download that, they're yours as long as they decide they can be yours. I mean, I heard they rotate some in and some out. I mean, some of these are pretty big name titles, and they tell you, of course, they rub it into you how much it would cost them. And it costs you $50, $60 games, and you're getting to play them for that 3 months free, which I'll see what happens. Matter of fact, I could get Flight Sim now that I'm on that. The only problem is Xbox won't load on this PC, and I haven't figured out why yet.
Huh.
What's
said, make sure the ally is not in controller mode, so it doesn't count the ally controls as player one.
Please make sure ally is not in controller mode, so it doesn't. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's some truth to that. But I think the biggest problem with that, Derek, is the problem is this thing's supposed to switch back and forth, and it loses its mind sometimes. I mean, when you leave a game, it's supposed to go back into using it as a mouse and a click buttons and all that to navigate windows. And sometimes you'll just sit there and it'll stay in game mode, and vice versa. It's not as smart as they claim to be. It gets hung up and starts stuttering.
It does sound like it could be you.
It could be.
So Polo says, you guys see that the 2 new Pinball Dreams games dropped on Antstream with multiplayer? No, I didn't. I never messed with that Antstream thing.
No, I was just going to ask Greg that if he put Antstream on that handheld or on his computer. I've never done it. I know when I got my Atari VCS, they gave us some kind of discount for it for so long, and I never used it. But I know Bliss played it, Antstream. Actually, I think he got some kind of free thing because he's a YouTube creator or something like that. So Antstream has a ton of games on there.
So what is that, a service like Steam? And
yeah, it'll have your old games on there, arcade games. And I think there's console games. I never really looked into it myself too much.
Antstream. And can you play it on the PC?
Yeah.
Is that what it's made for?
Xbox, the Atari VCS.
I'll look into that. I don't know. I hate to add too much more to my plate, especially with it. I'm not knocking the ROG Ally. I'm just telling you it's not easy as they make it sound. It does some. If Bart, you need to come up here and I'll show you this thing. Come here, Bart. I'll show you exactly what this is doing. Why I have my hair's sticking up like this.
Mike's Gaming Gala. What is this nonsense? No, Mike. He's the reason I tune in. Well,
I know. When Mike sent us all a message that he wasn't going to be there, I was trying to come up with something too, like I was in junior high again. I was going to say I had diarrhea and just needed to stay in the house and play Nintendo.
Right.
I decided to come on tonight because Bart was afraid that you, knowing that Mike wasn't going to show up and that I might not. He said, "Greg, you got to show up. I'll be stuck here with Poe tonight."
Yeah.
Well, my belly is full. I went to my mom's and we had a huge dinner. We made Mom take care of all the food on Mother's Day. No, yeah. they got chicken from another place. She did. Oh, wow!
I grilled steaks.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I thought you said snakes at first.
Snakes.
That sounds delicious.
No steaks.
Bliss said they gave me a year code to review and live stream games. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like to start stuff. In case you didn't notice, I like to cause trouble. But my brother, I think I told you guys, I don't know, he was in a car accident when he was 18. He's So he's still lives at home. He lives with my mom. So I called my mom for Happy Mother's Day and all that. And I said, so did Kurt give you that card I sent? I had him hold on to it with a $100 bill in it. So I expect they had a good conversation after she hung up. But
that is right, man. Only thing that upsets me is I wish I'd have thought of it. Oh.
Do they have a rage quit option for you, Bliss, when you're doing? Nice. Oh, man. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot. I had something I was going to say, and it's gone now. I read 3 messages on the chat.
Play the music.
Play the music. So, well, now we know, Poe. I'm sure you're gonna. What are you gonna buy all the tables? What are you playing them on? The Switch on FX, or are you playing them on your PlayStation with FX?
Probably PlayStation, just because if I feel like streaming it, I can't. Well, I mean, I could do that with the Switch too, but it's just so much easier on the PS5. So.
Right.
That is a big bonus. A big bonus, that PS5. I know I've walked by shops and seen them there, and I'm thinking, oh man, I got the Switch, I got the PC, I got the pinball machines, I got all this stuff. Then I'd have to buy more games on that, but every time I walk by, I'm like, God, those are so cool.
Yeah. I'm not even going to ask you, Greg, because you're going to say, well, I'll buy them. And then, we're going to double dip, both me and you. We're buying all the tables twice. It's going to be on the Switch, and they're going to be on the because we got to play them on the cabinets, and we've got to be able to play them on the go. So I'll be buying a bunch of tables Thursday and Nebraska.
Yeah, I'll be buying all of them, and I know I just use PayPal to pay for mine, and I know at the end of the month, Cheryl never gives me a hard time about it, but she'll look at that and she'll go, $200 and something on PayPal. What'd you get this month? And I'm like, I don't know. You sure you didn't get something too? I don't know.
Yeah.
Derek, I'd play a game with you, Derek. All right, I did. We played that zombie game. You left me to die. And it wasn't even Left for Dead.
Yeah.
Even Kelly yelled at him that day, remember? I had to go let Nacho in or something. I'm like, okay, I'm going to let the dog in or let the dog out or whatever. Just pay attention, watch me. And I came back and dead.
Yep. That's true. Did you see Dead Island 2 VR, Poe?
Yeah, I saw them doing that. That looked amazing. But he was using the Quest 3, and I think it wasn't some kind of hack or something on PC, but it looked awesome.
Oh. Yeah, Kelly remembers that. Yeah. Oh, is that the because it's a PC, is that one of the PC games? And that they're using that Unreal hack or whatever so you can play it in VR? Is that what that is?
It's somebody I subscribed to a couple different VR guys, and I just happened to see that last night the guy was playing it.
Was it that Australian dude, Beardo Benjo?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few of them I subscribed to, and I saw that, and I thought maybe they made I thought they made an official VR version of it. I'm like, oh man, I wish,
Polo's going to see Kingdom of Planet of the Apes on Tuesday. Are you guys going to see it? No, it's too far for me to go to a movie theater. I just now finally watched Ghostbusters this last weekend because it finally became available on a certain streaming service. It's not really a streaming service, but you can watch.
No, my daughter just went to the drive-in last night down here. There's a drive-in right down the road, and she saw a double feature, and she asked me to go, and she was going with her boyfriend. Well, you guys go and have a good time. It's really got to be something that I really want to see, which happens about every 2 years if I actually go to the theater to see it. I will go to the drive-in in April and October. They'll do like a chiller monster night where if you want, you can bring a camper if you have it or a tent and stay overnight, and they play spooky movies all weekend long, the old movies, So
nice. That's cool. That would be awesome. And it's a drive-in.
Yeah, it's right down the road from here. One of the last ones left around here.
I guess that would make sense. They probably wouldn't want you driving your camper into a regular theater. It would kind of have to be a drive-in. I realized that after I said it. That was a little obvious.
I remember this town, we had drive-in theaters everywhere. And I'll tell you what, I can only think of one that I know the screen is, I think of two that the screens are still up, but I think they use them for swap meets on Sunday. You know, they have like people come in the nice weather and sell stuff. And,
yeah.
I don't think they show any movies at them anymore.
I put Mike's text thing up there, and then I read it. That's why I'm laughing so hard. Pac-Man VR, but it's Bliss's basement. 83 playing Pac-Man on the 2600 on a black and white screen.
Yeah, I'm still putting up VR videos, but I was playing that Madison. I'm still playing it. I actually started doing my part, I don't know, what am I on? Part 7 the other night, where you had to go into the church, the old church, and it's really cool because you travel through time in the church like 3 different times, like 1951, 1987, and then 2022. And you got to figure out these mazes and puzzles. And I was in the middle of playing that, and I told you guys about this. I start hearing a phone ring. Well, there's a phone that rings in the game. It sounded just like that. I got the Pulse 3D headset on, and I got my PS VR2 on and everything, and I'm hearing this phone, and I'm like, oh, that phone in the game is ringing again. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Maybe that's a real phone. So I took off my headset, and my wife's phone was ringing. It was my boy calling from basic training. They gave them 5 minutes to call home and talk.
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh, crap. And when I reached for the phone, her phone, it was done ringing. So I grabbed my phone, and I'm trying to call him, and at first it went to his voicemail, and I found out he called my daughter up where she lives because he couldn't get a hold of us. But once he saw me calling, he said to his sister, I got to go to Dad's calling, see you.
Nice.
So his 5-minute call ended up being like a 3-minute call with me. But yeah, I thought it was in the game because that game is so kind of real, and you know, you hear that phone ringing and stuff in the game. Every time you try to get to the phone in the game, it stops ringing automatically. But since I put out those videos, we've talked about this before too. I lost 3 subscribers during the week, and I know you probably just think it's my personality, but I had those 3 extra subscribers for quite a while, and now all of a sudden they dropped off. And I'm like, it's probably the VR thing.
Me, Greg, Derek,
and Mike's Gaming Gal.
Mike's Gaming Gal. There should have been a 4th.
Derek sticks around. He wants to see what I'm going to do next. He's a good guy.
I got to laugh here because Bliss heard us talking about, well, Mike's Gaming Gala started it all. But I thought it was hilarious. I got someone in trouble the other day. Did you see when Bliss was playing that Pac-Man game on his live stream? And I jumped in the chat and I made some kind of 2600 reference because that's what we like to do. And he was busy playing, and I must have scrolled off, and someone else made a comment referring to my comment about the 2600. He's like, yeah, that 2600 Pac-Man. And Bliss was like, hey, don't be talking about that to that guy. He quoted him and said, yeah, we don't talk about it. I'm like, yeah, he didn't even see that. It must have scrolled off. So he didn't know that I instigated the – I just laughed. I thought it was funny. Yeah, 5-minute call. And weren't you saying you thought your boy was all broken up that he didn't get to talk to you because it sounded like he'd been crying and runny nose, and then you found out it was just the gas chamber day at the –
They did do that this week. Yeah, they did do that this week. And it was funny because, you know, so here on the weekend, I stay up as long as the wife stays up. And she's always been a night person on the weekends. So there's been several times we're up and the birds are singing before we get to bed. Well, it was almost 6 a.m. before we went to bed last night. She was watching TV. I was watching videos. I actually was making a YouTube video. So my boy did get another bonus 5 minutes to call at 8 a.m. today for Mother's Day. And he knew automatically, don't call mom and dad. They're in bed. It's Sunday. So he called my parents. So he got to talk to my mother and my father for 5 minutes early today. And he expanded a little bit on that gas chamber thing with them. He said one of the guys ran out so fast that he ended up running into a pole and about knocking himself out afterwards.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, Micah, when he was in the Navy, I don't know. I know Travis, when he was in the Army, he went through that gas chamber thing, but I know Micah complained that I don't think he did a gas chamber. They sprayed like some type of pepper spray in their eyes or something, you know, and on their face or something. And he said there was nothing you could do to get rid of it. But the point of this story is he did that in the Navy. And then he got out. And then 4 years later, he re-enlisted in the Coast Guard. Well, he got on his first Coast Guard cutter, and they said, we're going to, you know, it's your time. You got to pass this thing where they spray this stuff in your eyes. He says, I already did that in the Navy. And they said, well, oh, okay, that'll count. You know, you don't have to do it again. And then his officer in charge of him came back and says, we can't find any record of it, so you're going to have to do it. He said, man, I had to go through that twice. And he says, just because some bookkeeping geek lost the paperwork or didn't file something right.
Yeah, we never got sprayed with pepper spray. So
no, I didn't get I did the gas chamber in the Navy boot camp where we went in the chamber thing, and they really, and yeah, I remember trying to hold your breath and keep your eyes closed, and that shit didn't work.
Yeah, my boys, so they were screaming at them, open your eyes, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty harsh. Stuff running out your eyes, your nose, you're drooling, you're like, this sucks. But yeah, we had to do that. Fun times. So
you may have done the gas thing too. I don't know. It seems to me that this wasn't while he was in basic. This is when once he got on a certain boat, they had to, I think it was some special training he was going through, and it wasn't pepper spray. It was some type of spray.
It could have been if he went through SEER school, which is after boot camp. Some people, I didn't have to go to SEER school, but that's basically it's to training in case you get captured, and it's trying to avoid all that kind of stuff. And they might do it in SEER school because I heard they do some of that kind of stuff there. So it could be if he went through SEER school.
That may be what it was, because I'll tell you what, I remember him describing the training to me as one where he was with a group that was going to be boarding other ships. Same thing in the Coast Guard. That's what he's doing now. He boards other vessels, you know, in case they're trying to come into our waters, and the drug runners or whoever. Of course, he's over in Bahrain now, but having to board other ships which are foreign. And I think that's why he had to do it, was because he was going a special training for boarding other ships. And you're right. I think it was in case they got captured, because, when they board another ship, might be a chance you might get stuck on that son of a gun,
Right. It sounds to me like it was probably SEER schools, some kind of training in it. Like I said, I didn't have to do it. We were all nervous that we would, because we were air crew and we flew out and did missions and stuff. But some people that were air crew did have to, and some people didn't. And I got lucky; I didn't have to do it. But
what Derek said, it's posed fart spray.
Oh yeah. The wife would agree. Oh God! Ow! The window was open. I sprayed the poopery. I don't know what else to tell you, lady. She confines me to the basement toilet most of it. If you're going to do that, go to the basement. Sometimes you can't make it down 3 flights of stairs to the basement. Yeah. So it's like you either smell it, or I'll just throw the underwear right in the washing machine. But a gas chamber.
Yeah.
But he is going out this week. They're going out in the field, and they'll be eating the MREs. And they told them, watch out, San Antonio, watch out for rattlesnakes and scorpions and things like that. So they'll be doing the roughing it part of it this week, week 5 of training. So
where is he at? Where'd you say? San Antonio?
Yeah, San Antonio. Lackland Air Force Base is where the Air Force basic training is.
Nice. Yeah, see, I didn't do any of that stuff as far as going out. I did that in air crew schools when we went out for our week of survival training out in the forest and stuff like that. But because in boot camp, it was mostly water-based training. You did a lot of stuff in the pool and stuff like that. Make sure in case you fall overboard stuff, more than get lost in the jungle. Not many jungles out in the sea, I guess.
But, so when does he? He's in the Air Force. When does he get his? When do they give him his plane? I mean, they all get a plane, don't they?
Right. Yeah, I have mine sitting over here.
Yeah, but yours is probably a biplane, right?
Right?
Bi, transsexual, Pam.
What?
We
Don't
don't
ask
care.
him,
We're
pal.
just, right.
I always tell people I was in the Navy back when we had wooden ships. But
But we'll be
Yeah.
going down when he graduates for that week. Now, the only thing is, the bad part about that is trying to get airplane tickets, because you don't know what's going to happen. You get down to these final weeks, and then something could happen medically, or what you guys called it, washed back. Is that what you called it? You could be recycled, is what the Air Force calls it, where they push you back a couple weeks.
yeah,
And that's always what you worry about when you're there. And that's what he's always worried about too. We're getting close to recycle week. No, you can do it, buddy. And even if you don't, hey, all they do is push you back a couple weeks. You'll just do it again till you get it right. So,
right. Yeah, I forget what they called it back then, but in the Navy.
and I think when my brother was in the Navy, I think he was saying they called it washed back in the school that he was in. But
maybe.
We were pretty lucky. Travis did his basic training right down by Springfield, Missouri, and we're in Kansas City area, so it was only like a 3-hour drive down there, and that was really a cool ceremony they did down there. Now Micah, he did the Navy, and he was up near Chicago.
yeah, Great Lakes. That's where my brother was, and my dad, and my nephews.
Yeah, that's where Jason went also. He did Great Lakes. I did Orlando. I joined up from Arizona, and they sent me to Orlando, the farthest you could be. In the summertime, I'm a desert person here. I am in Florida in the summer with 9,000% humidity. I'm like, what the heck? Got off the plane. I thought I was going to drown just trying to breathe.
I don't you hate that? Oh,
yeah.
man.
So yeah, keep me posted, Poe, when you're flying down here and how long you're going to be.
She
We'll
even
make it
discussed with me if we're not able to get the plane tickets we want for we have the bed and breakfast pretty much set. We already paid for that instead of just getting the hotel room. We thought maybe he'd like to come back to a house. We could cook for him or take him out, whatever he wants. But we might end up driving. Who knows? But that's a 23-hour drive.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, it's a good bit cheaper. But then again, you have to factor in if you're stopping off at a hotel along the way and
right.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, if it works out, I obviously, Kelly and I will drive over to San Antonio and hang out with you guys, go out to dinner or something. But I don't want to encroach on the time that you'll have with the boy. So it'd be kind of one of those, you get there a day ahead of time or something like that, or you're staying a day after, you can't visit with them.
They get 2 days now. They get 2 days now. When I was in, it was 1 day. We went, and my parents came down, and I was just married right before I went in. So my parents and my wife came down, and they had 1 day. They came and they watched our graduation ceremony, and then I went and ran with them. Well, actually, I think maybe the next day I got to spend a little bit of time with my wife, and my parents were already flying out, but not too much. Now they do 2 days of ceremonies. These youngsters these days, they celebrate everything after basic training, but they're doing the airman run where you watch them all run. Then they do some kind of coin ceremony where they get these coins. We didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And then the next day is the marching thing. And so each day you get your airmen back for so many hours with you, and you can take them within so many miles of San Antonio. They have a map. You can't go outside of this area and do whatever they want. Now, whenever I graduated, all I wanted to do was go out to eat and just sit at the hotel and relax with the family. But if he wants to go to an amusement park, or I definitely like to hit the Riverwalk, because when I went down there, my first tech school was in San Antonio too. And Stacy moved down there for the 2 months I was in that tech school. She had an apartment, and we would go to the Riverwalk every single weekend. So that became a thing until I was sent off to my second half of my tech school in California. So I'd love to go down there again. We're taking the daughter with us, and have the whole family down there. That'll be a first.
Awesome.
That's gonna be
great.
cool. A week before Travis graduated down here at Fort Leonard Wood, which is like saying near Springfield, the weekend before, I guess they'd done so well. I don't know what happened, exactly what caused it, but they gave him usually they don't get any leave while you're in basic, but they knew they were all graduating. Nobody was getting pushed back. So they said, you can have a weekend off. And so I drove down there and got a hotel room, and they said he didn't even have to come back to base. So he had basically Saturday afternoon, he had to be back Sunday midday. So I don't know. I said, I'm coming down. You could tell he was kind of excited, but then he says, the guys all have something planned. Now you're welcome to go with us. And I said, well, that's fine, and all the buddies, I got down there and then he told me what they were doing. And I thought, well, that's no problem for me. I mean, there's
hookers and tattoos, right? Hookers and tattoos.
The biggest strip club I've ever seen in my life.
Close.
I'll never forget that, they there's everybody's buying drinks and stuff. And I remember one of the little gals came up to me and asked what the deal was. I said, well, these guys are on the base up there and they just graduated. And she goes, oh, you want to do anything special? And I said, I gave her 20 and I said, yeah, take my son up there on the stage. And they had a belt and they took a, belt off of some guy and bent him over and pulled his drawers down and gave him a spanking of his life.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's a lot like my break after boot camp because we went to Disneyland. Same sort of stuff happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you were so close to there. I've never been, so never. Might have been in Florida for a layover for a flight, but I've never actually been there to visit. So.
You ever been to Florida at all?
No. I talk with my wife about vacation each year, and for the longest time when the kids were little, it was always, this year we're going to Myrtle Beach, the next year Virginia Beach, Myrtle, Virginia. We had a camper for quite a while they were growing up. So for long weekends and stuff, we just took them to local KOAs and stuff like that, had a great time camping. But I always try to get her to go someplace else, go to the Cayman Islands, let's go wherever, and let's go back to Virginia Beach.
I was born in Daytona Beach, and we used to always go down there because my grandmother lived down there. That's where my dad was born and raised. Then moved up here right after he met my mom. He met my mom down there, and her mom lived up here. And anyway, they ended up there in Kansas City. I told them, what the heck? You left Daytona Beach to come here? Here. But
we didn't go anywhere when I was growing up. My dad always worked through the summer. So the few times I remember going anywhere were back in the 70s, and his sister lived out in Indiana near the Kentucky border. So we would go visit our aunt out there every once in a while. And then we had SeaWorld in Ohio. Sometimes that his work would have tickets for that, so we would go to SeaWorld or something like that. But yeah, really vacations were you're playing with your buddies, playing stickball, or you're running around in the woods or something like that. That was summer vacation here.
Wow. Yeah, I was pretty lucky growing up. My parents traveled quite a bit. I think by the time before I got in the Navy, which I joined up my senior year, delayed entry, and went in right 10 days after graduation. But I think I'd seen 35 states, going close to 40 states, because my parents liked to travel and go on road trips and stuff. So I got to see a lot, but I was stationed in Florida the whole time. Pretty much the whole time I was in the Navy. Did boot camp in Orlando, air crew school in Pensacola. Then I went up to Memphis for my A school, and that's when Travis happened to be born. So he was born in Tennessee, and then I was stationed in Jacksonville for the rest of the time I was there. And that's where Jason was born, was in Jacksonville. And we didn't
get much of a choice
because
okay.
Once they did the expansion teams in the NFL, and the Oilers moved up to Tennessee and became the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis was born in Tennessee, so we got Travis, Tennessee Titans, Jason, Jacksonville Jaguars. I guess it was just meant to be. I don't know. That worked out.
That's kind of cool, though. That is cool.
And I lived for 4 years in Jacksonville. Then I got out of the Navy and went back to Arizona. My brother lived over here outside of Dallas, and the year that we moved down here to Texas, he moved to Jacksonville. So It's like I moved to the same state as my brother. Now he's over at a state I lived in 30 years ago. Not far away from where I was, but and Jason, of course, is down at the Cape working at SpaceX. So he's
That's
right down
awesome.
the road from where Greg was living, a little further south. But
If you're a NASCAR fan and you watch the Daytona 500 on turn 3, right behind turn 3, you can see the hospital that I was born in.
oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
That's
right
cool.
behind the Daytona. And my grandmother was a race official at the, they have officials that sit up in the grandstands in those box seats or whatever, and they lap counter. I don't know. There's all kind of jobs for people, counting the laps and keeping track of certain things, statistics, and that's what she did. And we went down there one time, me, the wife, the kids, the minivan, and we drove up to the track, and this old guy was looking behind the fence, and my grandma got out of the car, and her name was Reba, and this old guy said, "Reba, is that you?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's me, Jerry," or whatever his name was. And he says, "Well, come on in." And he opened the gate up. He let me drive that minivan.
Really?
He told me, if you get on the wall, he says, if you keep going faster and you get on the wall, don't drop below 70, 80 mile an hour, you'll fall off. I'm telling you what, if you watch it on TV, you don't realize you cannot walk up that track. It's damn near 90 degrees at the top.
Ricky Bobby did. He thought he was on fire. He went,
Yeah.
Right.
But that was the weirdest experience. He said, "Yeah, I'll let you go around twice." He said, "No mischief or anything." And
Oh, that's awesome.
and my kids were screaming. My old lady was fucking, excuse me, but she was pissed. She was like, "Wait, this is dangerous." I said, "Just hang on, put your seatbelt on. We're going fast."
See, now I had a totally different experience with NASCAR. When we went up to Philadelphia when my dad passed away, and he was buried up there. And on our way back, we went through Bristol, Tennessee. So I went to see Bristol because anyone that watches NASCAR, if you know, Bristol is like a half-mile track or whatever, but the whole thing is an arena. So it's like a giant stands. And so I thought, well, let's just stop and see. They let us go into the stands and look at the track and stuff. But I asked the guy, I'm like, "Can I take the Hyundai out here and do a couple laps?" And he just laughed and said no. But I didn't know anybody. But I did ask. But yeah, that's a crazy stadium, that Bristol. I have looked over the wall at Daytona. I walked up from the outside and looked and how big that track is. And then Bristol, it's just amazing because the whole track is, like I said, it's like a big football stadium, but with a racetrack in the middle of it instead of a football field. And you're like, this is insane. But yeah.
Well, we've got that Kansas Speedway here, and I've never been to a race at that. It's just right across the state line. And but what was that Tom Cruise? That was the only other nostalgic thing I remember that old man telling us down there.
Or something like that.
Yeah. The city of Daytona and basically the Daytona 500 track officials, they ran them out of town, told them to get out of town and never come back. Because they used Daytona 500 to film some of that show. And they showed them what they were going to do. And one of the things was going to be in pit row or somewhere, they were going to ignite a car. One of them was going to be like it got in a crash and caught fire. They told them, "No, you're not. We just got through resurfacing that area. We spent this is a official Daytona NASCAR track. You're not pulling that kind of crap." Well, they did it anyway.
Oh, wow.
And the officials and the people there went up to him with the security guards and said, out now. And said, never come back. So that was another piece of thing that old man told us. Kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, I don't have many racing stories. I didn't really watch NASCAR, but a buddy of mine, good buddy that I grew up with, does wraps for vehicles. 3M certified. He's gone to school in all these places for that. So he's done some wraps for NASCAR. So he's allowed to be, was invited down there. But mostly he does like the local police car wraps and stuff like that. But I always thought that was really cool that he got to do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the only I'll get
Now-
off the race car thing. The only other thing I was going to say real quick is my grandmother was old enough to remember she worked at the track when it wasn't where it is now. It was on the sand on the beach.
Right?
The original,
Yeah.
and they raced
History.
motorcycles. She actually had. My dad had some old 8mm. I wish I could find those things. 8mm footage of guys racing motorcycles on that.
Oh,
beach.
that would be cool. Yeah, you need to find that and put those videos out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Now, this my story here is not necessarily a NASCAR, but it's more of segueing from your story about the Tom Cruise movie, because I've told the story before. I joined the Navy. I'm in the Top Gun group. Right after Top Gun came out, there was a big surge of Navy people joining the Navy because they saw Top Gun, and I'm one of those. I went to their recruiters and I said, I don't care what I do. I just want to be flying where I'm doing it. And that's how I ended up tracking submarines and all that stuff. But
Right.
while I was in delayed entry, we went over to the Miramar base where the Top Gun school was at the time and got to see a lot of the stuff, F-14s all over the place. And we got to talk to some of the people and the Navy people that were there when they filmed the movie. And to a person, every one of them, the biggest thing they said when Maverick and Goose do the flyby past the tower, and they were not cleared, and they do that close fly, it shattered the windows in the tower because they were so close.
Oh my
when they
god!
filmed it. But they also said Tom Cruise is the biggest asshole they've ever seen.
Yeah, and I've heard that.
They
He
said he treated them like he thought he was an officer, and he talked down to the enlisted people. And so every enlisted person I talked to that had anything to do anywhere near Tom Cruise said he was the biggest jerk they've ever met.
Well, now he was filming another film. I don't even know what it was. It wasn't Maverick. Last year, he was doing another film where he was on the aircraft carrier that one of my nephews is on, and my nephews on the crash team there, they got to meet him, and he was really nice to them. So I think he's probably heard the same thing or realized that he was a douche to people. So he went back on there. My nephew said, yeah, he was really cool with them. And he told them, you guys have the best job on the aircraft carrier. And I'm thinking, well, he probably said that to everybody he ran into that day. But, yeah, he met him last year, and he said he was really nice to them. So,
yeah. Shutdown said, I was going to make a joke when you were telling your thing about the guy doing the raps. I was going to be like, he did raps for now, like, drive real fast, going to the left. But yeah, Shutdown was, he thought he was talking freestyle raps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! What the heck happened? I lost what I wanted to. I wasn't intending to bring that up right away. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't think it'd show up right away. There you go. There's Daytona Beach. Guess who that is?
Wow.
I think I had either a load of sand or a load of poop in my drawers there or something.
They had color film when you were that young.
I know, isn't that amazing? But
Is that Fonzie? You gonna jump the shark?
Is he jumping the shark?
well, it's a shame. I'm not going to bore you with all. There was another cool thing where the Blue Angels did a flyover. No, it wasn't the Blue Angels. The Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds did a flyover along the beach, and I mean, there were people standing on the beach. Back then they could do the sonic boom. They stopped them from doing it. And those guys had come across that beach. I mean, you'd feel like you could reach up and touch them and just. And of course, I don't remember it as a kid, but there's one of these 8mm has got that showing them going overhead. And I mean, it looks like they're right on top of you.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Chaos mentioned about the Blue Angels, and when I got to Pensacola, that's where the Blue Angels. That's one of their main bases. So I would see the Blue Angels almost every day. They'd be up practicing. And that first week, you're like, wow. And after like 5 weeks of it, you're just like, yeah, there they go.
Yeah.
But good times.
I was on a B-52 base when I was in. And when they fired up on the weekends, it woke you up like an alarm clock, getting those big.
Those
Huge
things are
things.
monsters.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest plane I've ever been up close to. When the Gulf War started, I was in that when Bush Daddy was president back when I was in the Navy. And when we went over there and did the Desert Shield, Desert Storm stuff, I was in the Azores, and a bunch of Air Force planes came across. And literally the day we went to bed one night, and there were like 3 P-3s and a couple of other planes. It's an Air Force base, and then the next day there were A-10s out there, and there was a B-52 on the ground. And me and the ordnance man, we used to jump on them little Buddha trucks, and we drive all over the tarmac. And we drove out to that B-52, and we're like, a P-3 is not a small aircraft. It's a similar to a C-130. A lot of people know about the size of a C-130. And you could park ours wingtip to wingtip underneath one of the wings of a B-52. It's like, those things are huge.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that impressed us is we drove up close to one of those A-10s and looked at that 30 millimeter Gatling gun that's in the nose, 7-barrel 30 millimeter. You're like, oh my God, no wonder they can rip tanks in half. It's like just an incredible weapon. And here on my aircraft, when we got sent over to the Persian Gulf during Operation Desert Storm, they didn't even give us sidearms. We didn't even get a pistol. We're like, so if we get downed in this war zone, what are we supposed to do? Shoot our little pencil flares off our life preserver and be like, hold your fire, I have to reload. But yeah, they didn't even give us a sidearm. Not even one for the entire plane. So we went in totally unarmed into the war zone.
That's messed up.
That is not. Well, I won't bore you with too many of these, but I did find some. I just got to show you this. I can't find the motorcycle one, but there they are racing on the beach.
Wow.
In the sand.
Yeah, that's cool.
Isn't that amazing?
That's the birthplace of NASCAR right there.
Yeah, look at that Jeep. Oh my God, look at that old Willys.
Wow.
That's some cool stuff. Okay, this might be the porn coming up here. I better turn it off. I don't know. Anyway, good times.
Oh, wait. Right in the back of that Jeep.
I'm gonna have to go back and look for that motorcycle one because I know there's one. You know, the problem is a lot of this old 8mm film. I think I'm gonna. I'll tell you how I got those. I had when we first moved in here. I had a bedroom that had nothing in it, and I turned all the lights off in it, and I took a camcorder and put it on a tripod and played those 8mm on the wall.
Oh.
Videos of them. But some of that, I tried to do that again recently with some of the rolls I found, and that film has gotten brittle.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. My dad had a bunch of 8mm film. I have it now. And I always wanted to send it off to one of those places where they'll put it on a DVD for you. But I was always afraid it'd either get lost in the mail or they booger it up somehow. So I never did send it in.
Early 90s, my grandfather in the 60s and 70s, he vacationed a lot and he was a truck driver. Trucked him cross country. Nice. He did a lot of 8mm filming. And then when he got real sick, he just stayed at home and filmed all the kids. Now, he only got one video of me before he passed away. My brothers say it's because I was so ugly, but he died in 75. But in the early 90s, we took a whole bunch of those and had them transferred to VHS for my parents for their anniversary. And then I eventually put them on DVD for everybody. And then I put all of that on a private YouTube, unlisted for my family to watch in the house. So
that's awesome.
But there's a place here in the metro area that actually does that. I need to call them and see what they charge and just take all that down to them. Because you're right, I'm not going to mail that stuff off. But if I can take it to some place, and if they break it, well, what? It's going to end up, I'm going to die, and, it's going to end up in a landfill somewhere anyway, so might as well try.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I got them just sitting there, and they're going to rot away. Like you said, they get brittle, and you can't play them anyway. So I should do something with them and try to get them. Then he's got a couple old reels. He's got like a Abbott and Costello thing and a Woody Woodpecker reel and some of that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I do remember when I was up in South Dakota in junior high school, a buddy of mine found his dad had an 8mm stag film. And he brought it over to our house because we had a huge house and my bedroom was so far away. We played that. I snuck my dad's movie projector into the thing, but we were scared of getting caught, so we had it like, a foot away from the wall. So it's like a fight. We're like, oh, look at that boobies.
Yeah. My brother and I went when my dad passed away, and then Mom passed later. But we never went through all the stuff. When Dad died, we went through some of his stuff. Mom let us, but when she left, we went through the house and got it. And that's when I got those 8mm reels. And just like you said, Bart, we open, we stick a few in there, and we saw one that just kind of had like a big question mark and an X through it or something. And I wonder what this one is. Threw it in there. I said, "Oh my God, I didn't."
Yeah,
Dad had some of those.
Right. Of course, back in those old 8mm, you could see some boobies. If they panned down, all you saw was the forest. You weren't going to see much down below.
I was thinking of a way to say that without. Then you picked a perfect way to do that. I kept thinking, how can I tell that? Anyway, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, I just want to recap because I am going to go up and spend a little time with my wife this evening. So just to recap, for me, I want to apologize for making you sit and watch my 8mm movies for there because I remember going over to my uncle's years ago.
Good times.
All he wanted to do was show his slideshows. I remember my dad going, we're going over to your uncle's house and he's going to slow slide. 10,000 slides of his last vacation. It's going to be a lot of fun, kids. But yeah, to recap, don't forget, what do we say? Streets of Rage 2, Genesis. Streets of Rage 2, Genesis, because I notice always after the show, people go and they ask, I'm one of them, what's the game? What's the game? So it's Streets of Rage 2. And don't forget our Discord. I did put on Bart and mine's channel a link to the Discord in the description of if I set these up, I think Bart can too. When Bart sets them up, we have control. We can set up for each other, both our channels. And I made sure that I put the link to our Discord in the description of this video here. So.
You know what I did, Greg? I took my the one that goes underneath all of my videos anyway, my default. I copied and pasted that into a text file, and then whenever if I make the stream, I just copy and paste it. So
that's exactly what I did.
It's the exact thing that I put underneath mine. I figured that's the easy way.
Great minds think alike.
Right. And
it's funny. You talked about doing those slideshows and people watching them. We had some of the old films that my grandfather made that didn't make the cut because it was him filming the family watching his own movies. That's how bad it got with him. It's like, okay, let's put in our vacation movie and let's see your reaction. And they had the big bright light and everybody's freaking blinded by it and stuff. So Grandpa was a technical nerd back in the early 70s.
Oh God, I forgot about those. Dad did have a big light bar that had that went underneath that 8mm thing. It screwed into the bottom where the tripod was. Every Christmas you'd come down and you'd go, "You just burned the retinas out of my eyes, Dad." Coming down the stairs.
That's so funny because you always saw my uncle in those videos. It's like Christmas morning. There's my uncle, like, crap, Grandpa was holding that light right in his face.
Good time. Kelly says old movies are fun. Love that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, it is. It is fun though to see that, especially. And Bart's right. I never thought about that. That was wild to realize that there was color. That was 1957 when that first one I showed you, me in a diaper, and that was color. I didn't even think about it.
The scariest part though, Greg, about what Kelly was saying is the order it came through on ours. Cannabis Kid said, worst part is when you find a stag reel starring your grandparents. And the very next thing Kelly said was, love that kind of stuff though. She's gonna
Grandma, no.
That she was talking about your old movies she loves, but It just doesn't look right in our chat window over here.
It's all good times. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Streets of Rage 2, Sega Genesis. Get in and play. Remember, Bart was not a loser this week. He was in last place of those who played, but those who played are winners. The only losers are the ones that don't play.
That's right.
Oh, wait.
Right. Yep.
So good night, everybody. Have a good one. You two fellas, I'm going to leave you two alone. Please get along. Don't do anything.
I didn't get my phone all the way charged before we started, so I don't think we'll be pulling a 3-hour marathon.
Yeah,
tonight.
this is not going to be a 3-hour. I slept like absolute poo last night, and we had to get up at 4. So I am whooped, and I have to work tomorrow, so I got to get up again at 5 tomorrow. So we're not far behind you. Oh, well, I see now why Greg's leaving. He said earlier, as soon as Farrell's in, I'm out. I've had enough.
Yep, that's it for me. No, yeah, that's old Farrell. I like old Farrell.
Oh, wait. Stay with Bart for a second. I got to say goodnight to my daughter here.
Okay, I'll stay with you for a minute. Go ahead. You got to go? Go ahead. I'll be here for a minute. I'll stay for a couple
Yeah. Well, everyone's
Listen.
saying, see you, Greg. So
Yeah, maybe I should leave.
just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Let's just
No,
boot Poe out, and when he comes back, he can't get back in.
Right. Yeah. Dang it. I forgot. There was something I was going to bring up that's STEM related. So have you got back into the flight simulator at all? I know you said you were going to do some, and I haven't seen any videos.
I'll tell you, yes, I'm going to, but I'm going through some reconstruction. I did some reorganizing. Back here, I had this big treadmill here, and my orthopedic told me no more treadmill. And he says it's too much impact. So I go to the gym. I got some different machines I can do that work. And this thing was big and heavy, and Travis wanted it. So last week we spent forever getting that treadmill out of here. I mean, that thing was heavy and horrible. But I'm thinking about putting another little. I've got the second PC over here that matches this one. I got a clone of it, and I'm thinking about getting me a little station over here and hooking that up for my flight sim because I want to be like Bart when I grow up. Okay, I want to be able to sit right here and drive my truck stem, and then I want to be able to turn around over there because I've got the PC, I got the screen, I got the flight yoke, so I'm trying to make this.
I noticed earlier, if I zoom out a little, you can see right here, steering wheel, yoke.
Yeah,
I can do them both at once. As bad as I am at doing them, I could do it. It wouldn't be any worse.
The other thing I'm wanting to do is the game room has got a lot of game memorabilia in it, but it's also got my fire stuff in it. You know, my old fire department stuff. So I'm going to try to move more fire stuff into here and and have more room in there. Because Bart, you've seen it. That room looks big on video, but that room is really for what I got in there. It ain't big at all. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff. Is the reason. It's
just too much.
There's a lot of things in a
small area.
I was telling my mom we actually got some rain last night here, and I mentioned that I still have some drywall and stuff that's outside, so I was a little concerned because I only have one little spot that I can put under the porch, and if it's too windy when it's raining, that drywall's going to get wet. She goes, "Well, can't you put it in your arcade room?" And I'm like, "No, there's barely enough room for me in the arcade room." I mean, people can see I got the pinball is right here, so I can fly, drive, and use my elbow to do the flippers all at once. And then I got the. I'm like, there's not enough room for a sheet of drywall in here. That is not
room for one Bart and one Lil Kelly.
Right? Yeah. If Kelly was the same size as a normal size human, she wouldn't fit here.
Two-player Tuesday. Get that bathroom done. We're waiting for Two-player Tuesday to come back.
Two-player Tuesday need to come back, and my Thursday night pinball need to come back. But this Tuesday it'll be finishing the shower. Tuesday, so I'll be doing concrete work again.
Inside plumbing. Well, I'll
You're
tell
not
you,
making a two shower Tuesday video.
2 shower Tuesday.
Kelly says, I like that kind of stuff. Well, I was getting ready to check out, but that answered the question there. I hope that I want to get back into the flight sim. I had a little trouble getting back in the truck simulator. That sim dashboard, which I've grown to be a little dependent on. For some reason, it was not linking up, and I had to go to the sim dashboard website because I Googled it, what to do if it's not working, and I had to. It said download a patch to repair.
Oh,
and I downloaded it. So I don't know if American Truck Simulator upgraded to where it wasn't working or something happened, but I just clicked this one thing down and loaded it and ran it, and everything's working fine now.
yeah. See, now on Friday, because Thursday they asked me to work tomorrow, so I knew Friday I had to do my flight sim and my truck sim for Monday and Tuesday, so I did them back to back. I did the truck sim first because that's the easy. Just get in, no pre-flight stuff and trying to set. And then I clicked on the flight simulator. It wouldn't open again. Just would not launch. I'm like, what is happening? And it's the Xbox, because I downloaded not the Steam version. I have the Xbox thing where PC version, but whatever. And I had to go into my Windows settings and do a repair on the Xbox app for my PC, or it wouldn't launch I'm like, are you kidding me? I hadn't installed anything new. There was nothing different. I had done a flight the day before. All I did was shut things down, did a truck sim video, come back, and it wouldn't even launch. I'm like, what is going on with this stuff?
Well, I hope it keeps working for you, because I'll tell you that I've been not having trouble getting Xbox. My PC in there in the game room, it's working. My laptop, it's working. And on this ROG Ally, Xbox is working. I've tried a million times to get it to launch on here, and I've looked on Reddit and all those places, and there's people saying they are having a hell of a time getting it to launch in Windows.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've ever had that problem. The time before was when I installed some other stuff, and I think it boogered it up, so I did a system restore and got back. But this was nothing. I didn't install anything. I didn't change anything. It just didn't work. And I was a little nervous and a little frustrated. But yeah. So, but anyway, so now I got my video set for tomorrow and Tuesday. And then Tuesday morning, I'll get up early before Kelly gets up, and I'll shoot the video for Wednesday, which will be a flight sim video. That'll be my second video flying in the twin engine, where I do the talking to ATC instead of just clicking the buttons. That's an interesting procedure. It is so silly, because I said in my one video, I did a test just to see volume levels, and all I was going to do was call clearance and do a clearance delivery. Yeah, request clearance. I was nervous. I'm like, it's a computer that's listening to me. It's not going to judge me. I'm just doing a little clip so I can listen to the audio myself. Why the hell am I nervous clicking the button to say, I forget where I was taking. It was in Phoenix, I guess. Phoenix delivery, this is Cessna, whatever, request clearance to Flagstaff Airport. And I was nervous because I'm like, I don't know what to say. Holy crap, I don't know what to say. But it's kind of fun, though. So I'll be shooting that video Tuesday. And it'll go up on Wednesday, where I'm talking to the ATC. It's fun.
All right. Well, I'm going to say goodnight for real this time. Love you guys. Good to see you, Paul. Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you mothers. We'll see y'all later.
Later, Greg. Yeah. So, you missed Chaos calling Kelly a half Ewok, and Kelly was mad because she's 80% Ewok, and he missed 30% of it. So, what else you got going on, Poe? Did you say you were recording a video the other day?
Yeah, I started one last night. I did the gameplay part of it. I'm doing Chase the Chuck Wagon. I have it out here so I can do my intro. But that's an Atari game, a rarer Atari game.
Nice.
And I forgot I bought this a little bit back. I got a great deal on it. But then I watched Mike's Gaming Gala's video when he went to a gaming show, and he had that as part of his pickup. And I'm like, I have that, and I meant to do a video on it a while back, so I never did. And but yeah, that's one that's harder to get. It was a mail-in only game back in the day from Purina. You had to cut the proof of purchase off of your chuck wagon dog food and send it in. And it's not a good game, but a lot of people like to have it as like a holy grail in their Atari thing because it was only available through the mail order back then. So I only have the cartridge. The instructions, I think, are just like a piece of paper that's typed on how to play the game. And then there was a box to the thing. But I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then I didn't get around to doing the whole intro and everything like I normally do yet. So I'm going to have to do that. But I've really slowed down on the videos aside from like the VR stuff. Like I said, it's so easy to do on the PS5 to just record it and put it out there. But I think more people on my channel are looking to see the older stuff, which I love playing the older stuff. I just haven't been getting around to recording it. So we'll get one out, maybe get it out this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching. I got to get back into it because now you're up to what? You've had episode 6 of that VR.
Yeah.
We saw the first 2, and then I got busy working on the house, and then I saw 4 went up and 5, and I'm like, gee, I haven't watched 3 yet. Hang on. So we got to get back into watching.
Problem with that is you can only record an hour at a time on there. So I thought about playing live, but I just haven't got around to that yet. But recording it an hour at a time, you can always start a new recording after that. But I had some glitches, and so on that first part, it was supposed to be you hang the picture, and then something happens after you take a picture of your grandfather's picture. Well, I kept trying to put that picture up, and it wasn't working. It wasn't telling me I needed to do this or that. And so I think I wasted an hour of that first video trying to get it to work. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? So I went and watched somebody's beginning video, and I'm like, I did everything right. It just never prompted me. And I've had a few more times playing it where things have glitched enough that it's kind of like wasn't playable. I'd have to stop or whatever. So, and the rough part about that is you can't just make a save point whenever you want to. You have to do certain things for the game to save. So if I didn't get to that save point when I did this part, then the next time I record, I need to play up to where I stopped recording and then start recording from there on. So it ends up taking a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cannabis Kid, do you have the Walkabout Mini Golf? That's one of our go-tos for playing multiplayer.
Yeah, and we got the new Venice. I keep saying I'm going to play with you on there with that, but I haven't been doing anything most of the week except for Madison VR lately. So. Yeah,
and I'm so busy with trying to get the house put back together. Framing the bedroom in was one thing because that was outside. You're adding to the house, but now we're working on the bathroom, which is inside the house, and you got to go through the bathroom to get to the bedroom. So it's like I can't have stuff on the floor, so you got to pick everything up every night. You can't just leave your stuff set up, and man, it's just a pain. So, but yeah, we got to get to that new course on Walkabout and play that. And then the beauty with the Walkabout, you play on PlayStation. I'm playing on the Quest 2. Cannabis Kid, if you got a Quest 3, you could play if you have that Walkabout.
Yeah, we can all get on there and play something.
Yeah, if you're on the Discord, hit me up with a message on the Discord, and then we know we can let you know when we're playing sometime. But because Poe will play on the PlayStation 5, he streams it live while we're playing. So that's...
Yeah, and if it's something that I don't have on the PS5, I have the Quest 2. So if I have it on there, I'll play that way.
Yeah. But
I just haven't updated it or even charged it for a couple months here, so I need to do that one of these days. I did buy the pinball, Star Wars pinball for myself on there. You already had it, and I bought it for Mike and Greg. I had it on my PS4 VR, but never had it on the Quest. So I bought it for myself that same day. So I should turn on the Quest one of these days and update everything and play some stuff.
Yeah, I still play. Well, most every Wednesday night I golf with the boys now. We changed it from Sunday night to Wednesday night. It just got to be too much getting up for work, come home, quick eat, do the show, and then I'd have to leave the show and go right into golf. And shoot, when we do our 3-hour shows, it was too late anyway. But so now we golf on Wednesday night. But let's see. He says he mostly plays the MetaQuest Plus games they give you. But well, look me up. I'll tell you what, Cannabis Kid. Look me up. Send me a message on Discord. Are you on our Discord? Look me up on the Discord and fire me off a message, and then we'll figure out how we can become friends on the Quest, because I have a Quest too. But if we get to be friends on Meta, and I might be able to hook you up. We'll see. So send me a direct message on Discord, and we'll get hooked up. Should be fun visiting Streets of Rage 2 this week. It should be. I look forward to seeing your score, Chaos. We missed you this week. So, yes, it is Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis. I'll be playing it on the Switch.
As you can do this on Nintendo now. Genesis does. But Nintendo also does.
Yes, that's what Chaos is. Yes. Yeah, hit me up on Discord, Cannabis.
Yes.
And if your name is anything different on Discord than it is here, let me know it's you. Now I'm going to have 72 people say, I'm Cannabis Kid. Send me a free game. Yeah, but I don't know. You know, I still get those $5 credits from time to time for that Survival Nation. When I put that video up and put the link in there so people can get 25% off, I'll still get random $5 things, and I don't know if they expire. And that video's it's been a while since I did that, and I thought I read somewhere if you don't use some of those credits in a year, they will expire.
There's certain things that do, because I was a part of their newsletter or something like that. So if you signed up for that, you would get certain credits. I don't think I've gotten an email unless they're going to my junk for a while. But for a while there, Meta was sending me so much money credit, and I wouldn't get to it before it ran out, expired. So.
No. Yeah, Farrell said, I have to see where the score was a couple months ago. Yeah, that doesn't count. You gotta play it this week. You gotta play it this week, so we know that it's so he can see how. Yeah, because trust me, I know how that goes, because when we played Donkey Kong, I had to submit a picture, and you could see my high score was higher than the score I got the week of the tournament. It's like, dang it. Derek says he doesn't see you in the Discord, Cannabis. Check the link in the description below if you're on my channel or Greg's channel. Join our Discord. Send me a message. Yeah. So, Shredder's Revenge. I don't know if I have Shredder's Revenge. I don't know. But all right. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock here. We've been on for an hour and 45. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Unless you had anything exciting you needed to talk about.
No, I didn't do too much.
I am poopered. Like I said, it was raining last night, and that woke me up. And had to get up. It was one of those days. Normally, I wake up shortly before the alarm goes off. I'm just one of those types. I was laying in bed thinking, man, I need to get to sleep because the alarm's going to go off and then it went off. I'm like, are you kidding?
Been there.
And we have it. Our alarm is actually the Google thing plays Yesterday by the Beatles comes on. And I I think it was into, if you don't shut it off, it'll just keep playing random songs. I think it was on the third song when I finally got out of bed because I'm like, fighting it. I don't want to go. Don't make me go. But I do got to work tomorrow. So I'll be getting up early in the morning tomorrow also. So I think I'm going to call it. I'm ready to call it. And it's Mother's Day. We should probably spend a little time with our wives.
That's right. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. Oh, you, like Greg said, all you mothers. Good luck, streets of nerds. All right, I'm going to find a big 12-second outro. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you same bat time, same bat channel, Sunday nights. And be looking for that big pinball tournament next week. But play that Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
Submit the scores on the Discord, and we'll get the spreadsheet going. So, all right. Going to post the score immediately after Mike posts his. Well, that's late on Saturday. Mike always likes to wait and see what the competition is. So, all right. Oh shoot, I'm still in Greg's background music. I can't find the outro. Okay, where's that 12-second outro? People can stick around long enough for that. There it is. All right, we're out. Stretch Armstrong.
Peace out. 99.